How about this? Look at this man. Champ waiting for the champ. What's up, Volk? This is amazing.
How you been?
It's great to see you.
You too.
Come on.
Oh, I love a good cuddle.
This is lovely.
I don't need a. Oh yeah, the mic.
Everything good? Yeah, you're
we're
mic'd
good.
up.
Yeah, sweet.
I'm gonna take this off. All right, Frank.
Do it.
All right. Alex, this is so nice. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you. It's good to have been here.
You never been here before.
So much, but I haven't been in. Nah.
I don't have to feel guilty for once about you waking up at 7 a.m. to be on my show. Here we are, same turf. I was saying, in others. By the way, you smell fantastic. What is
Thanks,
this?
mate. It's, what is it? I think it's was it Louis Vuitton?
Oh, look, we got Ash in the house. Oh, hello. We have the missus. Everyone's here.
Everyone's
How are
in.
you? You got your own videographer.
Yeah.
Look at
Get
you.
all the content. That's it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the content, but this is so nice. Thank you for doing this. Congratulations. I was saying, in American sports, when you win a big event, sporting match, whatever, you go to Disneyland. In MMA, you come on the MMA Hour. This is Izzy
man.
did it.
Exactly,
You did. I like
yeah.
this. I like this.
Yeah, that's it.
How was the flight from Jacksonville to New York? Are you
It was good.
exhausted?
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. Obviously, we had a big night, so we got a little nap on the plane. But I mean, yeah, it was all good.
Okay, so Saturday night, congratulations.
Thank
Another
you.
title defense. If you were to grade yourself, your performance,
Okay, yeah.
what do you give yourself?
Oh, yeah, man, it was pretty good. Obviously, I'm pretty happy with
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Well, I'm always my hardest critic, right? But at the same time, I watched back the fight and, everything went well. I still think I could have done better, but you know
What
what I
could
mean?
you have done better?
Oh, this is still a bit, you know what I mean? That's just, he still touched me here and there, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Got me with a couple of leg kicks and things like that. But, so again, I'm just my hardest critic. But at the same time, went well. Obviously, I was a lot faster. I felt a lot faster. I felt, I had him puzzled pretty easily. I know that they were trying to do their research and get me figured out, but I ain't an easy man to be figured out, you know what I mean? So I just go out there, do my thing and puzzle them and capitalise. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm obviously happy. We're happy with the finish. I wanted it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting. He was tough, man. He ate some shots. He really did. Just obviously lived up to that zombie name. Because
Are you thinking to yourself like, golly, this guy?
My hands were hurting.
Really?
Honestly, you know what I mean? Even though you got the adrenaline rush and all that type of stuff, I remember like we're landing jabs and punches and my hands were hurting. Like, that's how clean they were hitting. And like they were hitting flush and he would just go whack, he'll be wobbled and rocked and all that and just come straight back to it and I'll just do it again and I would probably rocked him like 5-6 times in there, maybe more. But yeah, man, it was, by the end of it, I'm glad, Herb stopped it because, I felt like he definitely had enough. Yeah, I think he was ready. He sort of knew it was over. I think he was defeated already and, let's get him back home to their family healthy,
BT Sport posted that clip, and I'm happy that we were able to pick up the audio.
Mm-hmm.
It looked just from your body language, you didn't want to keep punching him in that 4th round, right? Like did you ask him? Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Well, in the 3rd round, obviously, I wanted to get that finish. I was very close, maybe a couple of seconds. He did well. Like, again, he's tough, where I was just about to get the finish and he rolled that little bit more and then just held out and that buzzer went. But, I mean, seeing him in the corner, obviously, he was sitting on the ground. He was done. Like I said, he was defeated and even when he got up and he was like, playing with his eye and like he was even wobbling to the center, I was like, whether it was legit, which means it's over anyway, or was it a sign to the ref and to the commission, like, I'm done. Was that him asking for, I'm done? I don't know, but that's sort of what I felt. So I just said to him, I go, mate, are you sure you want to keep doing this? You know what I mean? And I don't know if he understood me, but he's like, just, yeah. And I'm like, are you sure? And I was like, all right.
Man,
and then
you don't see that often, people doing that.
I think Herb knew where I was at.
Right.
Because I was like, come on, just stop it. I was even said it a few times. So he was just like, I'll give him one last little chance, but as soon as he eats a couple, he's just going to call it. So obviously a lot of people knew it was done. And sometimes the people being so tough is just, it's worse for their own good, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want them to just keep copping damage, especially where you could see that he wasn't really landing flush. Every time he did land, I seen him coming. I seen pretty much everything coming. So, yeah, everyone knew it was pretty much over, but I'm glad he stopped it.
Why does it feel like in this sport we force the referee to make this call? And yet in boxing, it happens all the time. I was watching Triple G Saturday morning and, his opponent's corner threw in the towel. Like, that was it. But in our sport, we never do it. Never see it happen. Very, very rarely, right? Why is that? Like, that corner should, they're a great corner. They're great guys. Eddie's a great guy, all of them. I feel like they should have stopped it. It was very clear just watching his body language that he had enough.
Look, it's tough, right? Like, you don't know you fight like the fighters. You got to remember what like the MMA fighters are like as well.
Right.
I mean, you take an opportunity away from them, and make they all feel like it's quitting. You quitting for them. That's. I think that's what they worry about. They're worried about, you know what I mean? Yeah, maybe they're worried about. I think my students can be more angry with me by stopping it than they would if me taking care of him. Which they shouldn't care, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're weighing them options. They're like, man, he's going to kill me once we, like, not kill me. He's going to be very unhappy. He's like, why'd you do it? Why didn't you let me go out of my shield? That type of stuff. I think it's, that ego and that, there's that type of mentality a lot of mixed martial artists have. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, again, it shouldn't really matter. You should just obviously look after your. But I mean, heat of the moment, he was still in it, right? It wasn't like he was literally like out of it. But I mean, he was definitely defeated. But anyway, it wasn't long before the ref stopped it, so it's all right.
Considering how your last fight went, and the ups and downs, was it nice to have a fight where, I mean, like you said, you were tagged, but there were no moments in that fight where it got really tight. Like this one, the whole thing, right? Even the build-up, there's respect between. It was completely different than the Ortega fight from beginning to end. Bit of a breath of fresh air for you?
Yeah, it was, you know what I mean? Because, again, I just don't want to force anything, I'm not going to force, even though there was things that he has said. I think he's maybe on your show. He said
2 years ago. Right? But this time it was nice,
Yeah,
no?
Exactly. But I mean, he was forced to say these things, and I know that. We all know what he's like. He's a respectful, he's a bit of a sweetheart, right?
Yeah.
And everyone knows that. So it was so out of character, him saying that stuff, and he even apologised for it. So, that's why I was like, look, I can bring it up and, force something if I want. But I'm like, I don't know, I'll just let my fist do the talk, and I'll just be me, and that's it. I don't care. Like, again, I'm not here to be someone I'm not and try and impress people, by giving them what I think they want. Like, who cares what, you know what I mean? At the same time, be me, and if people appreciate it, they appreciate it. If they don't, they don't. But that doesn't matter. I just move on. But it was a bit of fresh air. I felt like, and straight after it, and I felt bad for the guy. To be honest.
Crying. You saw that?
Yeah, man. It was. We obviously waited for him to go out, show our respects, because I don't know if. Hopefully he keeps going. I don't want him to look at that and be like, I must be done, because no matter who was in there with me, it probably would have been a very similar result. So I want him to know that, and he's obviously still got it. But that's probably hard for him to be like, man, I had no answer. But I mean, a lot of people don't have answers for me, so I don't want him to take it too harshly. You know what I mean? So I know I'm tooting my own horn at the moment, but
I like it.
It's the truth. You know what I mean? So, and next time I get in there, I'm going to be even better.
Do you feel like your confidence is at have you ever been more confident than right now?
No, I've always been confident in what I could do, but I don't think the confidence was as real as it is now. I'd say things. I'd still have doubts. You're always going to have little doubts here and there, which is good. It just sort of keeps you on your toes. But right now, it's even in the gym and everything, like the confidence and the freedom, as I've been talking about all week, fight week, that I have, like inside and outside of the cage, just everywhere. It's just on a whole new level. You know what I mean? Just me, the belief is really there. Me believing everything that I'm seeing in the gym and all that. Like, you know what I mean? It all comes down to confidence. I really do think it is, and that's something that's definitely changed a lot for me.
Where do you think that comes from? Is it just like the more you do something, the more confident you get?
It's something we've been working on as well. You know what I mean? I am from a small town back home. You know what I mean? So I'm.
How do you pronounce it? Windang. What is that?
Just a little town.
What does that mean, Windang? There's like a meaning.
You know what it actually means?
Fighting, something with fighting, right?
Yeah, it does. The land of the fight or something.
Right.
Is that right? Is it? Scene of a fight.
Scene of a fight.
Scene of a fight. That's
and it's
Aboriginal,
amazing.
So which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a small town, man. So I go home and, as I say, I'm just daddy, I mean? I'm just me. And again, I don't know exactly what it is, but it was something that I worked on. And like I've always known, you talk about the negativity and all that. Everyone talks about it, right? Everyone knows about it. But I did nothing about it. Where now I'm doing something about it, and and I'm really trying to get on top of it, and I've absolutely nailed it. So I'm in a good headspace right now.
Do you work? And I know like Dan Hooker has talked about working with someone, and other Kai has talked about this as well. Do you? I
think most athletes have sports psych.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like we're completely.
No.
I was about to swear. Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not like we're completely fucked up in the head, but I think a lot of it, like just for motivation and all that. But I mean, it's good. It's good to you figure out so much about yourself, where you're at, things that you're doing, and then be like, oh yeah, like they explain, well, why this happens and all that. You know what I mean? So you learn so much. It even helps with podcasts and stuff like that. When you're talking to people, half the shit I'm just regurgitating what comes out of his mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
I sound clever. So, so I'll claim it. But it's just, yeah, man, you learn a lot about yourself and you grow a lot. And it's something that's definitely helping.
How long have you been working with someone?
I've been probably a year or something.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, about a year. Yeah,
wow.
Not long. But I mean, like I said, I've learned
What
so
led
much,
you to do that?
Hey?
What led you to say, you know what?
Just a lot of people, like, you know, just,
yeah.
Again, a lot of athletes and that do it. I think a majority of them do. And then if not, I think it'd be better, like for, you know, especially MMA fighters and that, I think, yeah, go do it, because it's definitely good. But I mean, it's it's again, like some people are like, oh, I don't need it. Like I've always been like that, but then it's not like, it's weird. Like, you know, it doesn't mean you're a complete head case.
Sure.
There's so it's all about the sport and all that type of stuff, but everything that comes with the sport as well. So obviously inside and outside, which was a lot of things that getting used to, right? I'm just a regular dude and then a world champion and like getting all this, you got hate and you got all this sort of, you know, it's hard to really, what's going on, you know, to really understand it all. So, yeah.
But it definitely feels like we're seeing, like even at the press conference, ripping your shirt, like you are yourself now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you've done this enough. You're not trying to please anyone.
No second guessing.
Right.
No second guessing. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I was always worried about like if I do something, what are you going to, are people going to be offended?
Right.
What are they going to think of me? You know what I mean? I sit there and be like, oh man, I'll do my head in about it. And little things like that. Just so I'm always second guessing, even being sheltered. I couldn't be myself. Well, now I'm just being myself. If that ended up being me ripping my shirt, ended up being a meme and people were bagging the shit out of me, I wouldn't care.
Right.
I'll move on. You know what I mean? That's something that's helped as well. Like whatever decision I make, even if it's a right or wrong, move on. And that's it. Play on. You know what I mean? Where before I'd be like, oh man, why'd I do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, but people laughing at me or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you might think like that. And I think a lot of people have trouble with this, especially with social media, right?
Right.
So that's the only reason why I'm talking about it. It's not, a lot of people probably wouldn't talk about this, right? But it's something I'm comfortable talking about because I think a lot of people would like deal with that. You know what I mean? And again, I've always been a people pleaser and I always cared about what people thought. I still do care about that, but I rather care about people that were like mean to me, not haters. Why am I trying to impress these haters who are just looking for anything to hate me for? Which that was a big problem for me.
The Ortega fight, do you feel like it changed the way the fans view you? Do you feel like they respect you more, they like you more? You know, when you're involved in one of those fights, your stock goes up, your legacy grows.
Definitely did change. But I mean, at the same time, as I've been saying, like I don't care if it did or didn't right now, which is more important because it means I've moved on. Like I've put myself in a better position. So if they were still hating right now, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't feel like I have to try and impress these people. Where now, like, you know, it has changed that. But at the same time, I'm just more happy the fact that I don't care if it has or it hasn't.
What about this Henry Cejudo? I'm in the pool. You know, he makes the big announcement.
Yeah, man. It's again, look, I'll take him serious. Once he's in the pool, you obviously can take it serious.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still needs to prove himself in our division, right? You know, I believe.
So you wouldn't be in favor of him jumping in right away, getting a title shot? Sounds like the UFC isn't in favor of it either, to be honest.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, why am I going to waste energy? Look, again, I probably can right now because we don't have no clear guy that's going to be. So maybe you're asking me. That's why I'm even talking to you about it, I guess. But again, I'm not going to take it too serious. Whether he's talking about going to bantamweight or you know what I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not too.
Feels like it would be a big fight, though,
I
right?
respect the guy. Like obviously he does his thing and all that. Like I don't hate the guy. You know, he's got a lot of great accomplishments, and I respect him as a fighter and as an athlete. But I mean, at the same time, I don't know, how long has he been calling me out? Right. He was giving zombie shit about getting the fight and be like, pretty much, all these guys were shitting, oh yeah, you're going zombie, yeah, rah, rah, rah. But then all of a sudden he's in his corner. I was like, mate, the zombie, he was pretty much bagging you. Right. You know what I mean? But now he's jumping on the bandwagon to get a bit of attention. So, you know what I mean? So, and he wasn't even in the testing pool, but he was sitting there like, couldn't believe that I didn't choose him. I was like, mate, you can't even fight. Why are you wasting your breath? And why should I waste my breath on it? So it's just, again, that's why I don't take it too serious.
I had heard that there was talks of the UFC coming back to Australia later this year, but then Dana kind of...
Yeah, I seen that. Like,
there was like 500,000 people at the F1 this weekend.
Yeah, so
what's he talking about?
Like, I don't know. Like, Nothing's
getting canceled over there.
I don't think
Maybe
so.
you got some bad info. Because I
don't
feel like that
know.
would be
Maybe-
huge for you,
Yeah,
for
definitely
you to get
is.
that homecoming fight.
Look, man, I'm comfortable and confident enough to at least have that conversation with him. Where before I wouldn't be, I'll just stay right out of it. But I
Right.
mean, I'm going to at least talk to him, be like, come on, like, let's try and figure this out. Because obviously he loves, they love bringing the UFC to Australia. We sell out of arenas every single time. It's massive over there. And you got a champion that hasn't defended his belt in his own country yet. So
Right.
it makes a lot of sense. I think we're in a position where I can at least trying to ask for that and have that conversation. So I'm going to make sure I have that conversation.
What would be the dream scenario for you? Location, opponent, time frame?
Just let me defend my belt in Australia.
That's all you want.
Simple, yeah, man. Like that's all that really matters. Again, we'll see who's next. I've got a couple of options. One that I'm really, really interested in is watching that lightweight title.
This is a real thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Especially because, look, like I said, if there was a clear number one contender in my division, like, as I said, after my fight, a lot of these contenders, as you would have seen when Max got injured, all of them putting their hands up and like expecting title shots given to them. And I think I talked to you about this.
Yeah,
and you've got a bit vocal and saying, you know what, that's just shit. Who these guys just? I'll sit back and hopefully a title shot gets given to me. If they're going to keep doing that, like, I will look at it. As I've said to you many times that I don't want to hold up any divisions, but these contenders are holding up the fucking division, not me. I'm doing my thing, they ain't doing theirs. So if they go out there, take that number one spot, you won't hear me having these conversations about lightweight. But until then, I'll have that conversation. So I'm going to be looking at Chandler, not Chandler, sorry, Gaethje and Charles.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I'll be keeping a close eye on that. And we'll see what happens. And that's the timing's not too bad there either. So we'll see what happens.
Do you think the UFC would be interested in that? Have you floated that idea to them?
A lot of people are talking about it. You know what I mean? And, that conversation is coming up, like even through media and, so, yeah, even through an embedded series and all that type of stuff. That question's coming up. So I think they're definitely looking into it.
The elephant in the room is Max. That's who you were supposed to fight on this card. What do you think? Do you think it's...
Look, man, I don't even know that whole situation. Obviously, you've seen that fight got announced.
Yeah.
And then it was
24 hours later.
Away. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that situation. Obviously, at the time, I was a little frustrated and I wanted to have shots at the haters and all that.
Yeah,
so I was like, he wasn't even injured, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah,
I don't even know if he was ever accepted a fight. I don't know if they're going through negotiations. Was it negotiation problems? I don't even know. Does he even want the fight? You've got Dana not even talking about it. He's getting asked about these questions and he's not even taking it serious. Before it was always, that's the fight to me. That's all. But right now I don't know what's happening. So I'm not going to waste my breath on it. But I mean, you would think that that'll be the main option, right? Because that was the fight it was meant to be.
Right.
And everyone knows I'm not scared of anyone. So whatever the biggest fight is, and Max has shown that people want to see that fight. And if that's a fight people want to see, and the pay-per-views, it will be the right decision, right? We'll see, but we'll make that decision when my team has a conversation. We have a conversation with the UFC. We'll see where he's at. We'll see where the UFC's at with it, and then we'll talk to the.
They didn't give you guys any
They haven't
inclination.
gave anything. Well, usually usually we have a rough idea, but I mean, I don't know where he's at. Maybe he's still injured. I don't really know, but again, I've got my eyes on whatever's there. I'm gonna keep my options. I'm gonna keep them options. I'm gonna my eyes open and see what's there, and see what they come back with. At the end of the day, we'll make the right decision for the right reason.
Is there any part of you that feels like that fight has to happen at some point, or if it never happens, do you not care?
Only if it makes sense, because people want it, money, pay-per-views, all that type of stuff. I've got nothing else to prove. Okay, that's something that, again, I told you, I'm happy where I'm at, where I don't care if people are going to be like, about the last one, but I don't care. I've got nothing to prove, you know what I mean? So, but if that fight happens for the right reasons, it's because there's no one else, because the money's right, people want to see it, you know what I mean? And that's it. And if that's how it's going to be, then we'll make that fight happen. Because again, I'm not scared of anyone. I'm getting better and better every single time. So next time I step in that octagon, I'm going to be in a whole nother level. So we'll see who wants to step in front of me when they know I'm getting better as well. So we'll see who puts their hands up.
By the way, for 55, like in a month, how much will you weigh? Like, what's the biggest you get?
Probably about 77 kilograms. What's that? That's about 170.
Okay,
I used to get a lot bigger.
Yeah,
You don't want to know what I used to get.
211, the famous.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even when I was fighting, like it
Really?
would have been, well, while I was doing featherweight, I would get up to, what is it, like what's like, hey? Middleweight, yeah.
Really?
Middleweight, yeah, man. I used to get like that heavy.
Damn, in the UFC?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Golly.
Just like.
All that cooking with Volk.
Yeah. It was, I didn't look healthy.
Right. So now the
I'll just be like a ball.
Right. So now the biggest you get is like 170?
Yeah, 170. I try and stay at a decent weight and I don't go too crazy.
Do you think eventually...
Cheat meals aren't nowhere near as bad as they used to be.
But do you think eventually you will end up at 55, or is 55 just like a special thing and 45 is your weight class forever?
Well, I've fought at middleweight.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm undefeated middleweight.
But now that you kind of
exactly.
know your body.
So, but that's the thing. I think I can do both, and I can do both comfortably. Like, if you look at most of my training partners, they're all lightweights and even welterweights. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very strong for my size.
Yeah.
And so I can hold my own in many divisions. So I'll be more than comfortable, even if I get that double champ status. I'll be more than happy to defend. I'm not looking to just go out there, take and be like, oh, cool, I got the double belt, and then hold up a division. That's not me. I'll stay active, and I'm not in this sport forever. So
right.
if I go and I do get that this year or next year, I'll be taking both fights. I'll be very active because I don't have to do so many weight cuts or anything like that. It'll be fun. Different, a lot of different options, different faces, and I reckon that's exciting. You know what I mean? That excites me.
By the way, what about that fight on Saturday? It started very late, your fight.
Oh, yeah.
Were you getting tired back there?
I'll be honest, I did. It was weird. I'll be honest, it was... Because
it was like 1 a.m. when you walked out.
Well, we were, during the week, we were training around 11 and that, like, so I wanted to be alert. So I wouldn't go to bed till about 1:32.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was late. Like, I felt like good. I started warming up, and then we'll wait and we're watching a little bit of Pedian and Aljamain's fight, and like, warming up a little bit as that was happening, and it was just dragging on. And then I started like getting like a little like chill, like really, really chill. Like I was like, it was weird. It was like no adrenaline at all. So I'm like trying to like psych myself up. It was a similar feeling to Fight Island, which I was like, oh, like that was a bit haunting because with no crowd and all that. I was like, man, wake up. And, it was no adrenaline. It was the worst feeling. So I was like starting to feel a little bit like that. Even walking out, I'm like, oh, I'll shake everyone's hand and like, feel that energy from the crowd. But I mean, so I felt probably a little too chill. But I mean, at the same time, my reactions and everything was on point. So I was still on. I was still sharp, which was good. But it did feel a little bit different because it was so late.
Did you like Jacksonville? I saw you did some crazy stuff with the fish over there at night. I saw the videos.
Yeah. No, you will.
What is that? Where were you shooting?
We went. We were somewhere over there, and I went out the bush and went in canoes and whatnot.
Wow.
We shot some.
What are you shooting? You're shooting the fish?
No. We were just they had like these target things.
Oh.
They even had these like, you wouldn't call them bombs, but it was like, I don't know what it was, these things that just blew up. And so we had a bit of fun. Like, while in America, right?
Yeah, I guess. But then you did go fishing as well? Or did you
No,
not?
I didn't. I think with Peter Yan maybe.
Oh, was it Peter Yan that went?
I think he went fishing.
So you were just shooting?
I just, we're just.
Wow. Real American experience over there.
Went out in the swamps and all that. And supposedly there's gators and that there as well. So
that's what I thought you were shooting.
Yeah. Oh, you're really? Yeah, nah. We're just
crazy.
Do
you like it over there?
Yeah, I love the bush. Everywhere. And
what is the bush?
Hey?
What is the bush?
Oh, that's not what you call it out.
The forest?
Just out,
the wilderness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out the bush. Not what out.
I don't know.
What he's calling it.
I guess that's what. Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Forest?
The forest, the wilderness.
Doesn't sound as good.
No, it doesn't sound. It's just
like the bush.
The bush just.
I was out in the bush with George Bush.
Were you?
That was his name.
What do you mean?
That was his name. The guy that.
The guy that really?
Big Jug. Yeah, Big Jug. Shout out Big Jug.
His name was George Bush.
That's what a lot of people like. Yeah. People
that's
like. Yeah. So it was. So that was again. It was cool. See, I love traveling the world and seeing the different type of country.
Yeah.
As well, because I love the adventures. I love camping and hunting, fishing, and all that type of stuff. So going out and about in different countries and seeing the different landscapes and that I really appreciate it. So it was good. It was good to go out there and have a bit, because I came a little bit early as well. So it was good to see that.
Is it the time difference and everything?
Yeah, I wanted to adapt to the time because mate, the jet lag the first few days.
Brutal?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What is it, like 13, 14 hours?
I don't know exactly how it works. I just go by when you go to sleep, right?
Sure.
So when I was meant to go to sleep in Jacksonville, it's middle of the day back home. Yeah. So that's it was pretty hard to get used to, but I still had to do a couple of hard sessions while I was jet lag, and that was a fucking nightmare.
I was so jealous you got the Rock cheat meal.
Yeah.
I saw Izzy have
that was
it.
good.
Oh man, that thing is so fluffy.
It does, mate. Like you're cutting it and it just goes.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? So soft.
How did they get that to you guys?
They just said
you got the hookup.
The
Ash
guys
hooks you up.
Yeah, the guys hooked it up, and mate, he gave us a whole box full. Like
really?
Yeah.
And is it fresh? Like right out of the box, or you got to cook it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you just heat it up.
Wow.
So they bring in like you just.
How good was it, honestly?
Oh mate, honest.
Really?
I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if
you didn't finish the whole thing.
Obviously, if it was bad, I would say it was good anyway. But it was good.
It was
and to be honest, I think I had a conversation with someone before I came, and they were talking about it. I don't know, this come up about the French toast. I'm like, I don't know, for my cheat meals, I like my chocolate and rah. So I was saying that, but I had that and I'm like, fuck, that was good. Like, I don't know what it was, a caramel, like that sauce with the coconut chips, and it was good, mate. It was really, really good. And the texture and the softness, like you were saying, it was like, oh, mate, it was
That's
good.
my favorite part, seeing the first
If you were over there, I would have gave you some.
Would be nice,
you know what I mean? Because we end up, like a few guys that we knew over there, they all had a taste, everyone loved it. But
you didn't finish it, though.
No, I had to fight. So
so what?
Yeah, no, I'm good now. Like I said, a couple of years ago, the way I used to eat, I would have punished that.
What's like your number one cheat meal, like after a fight, the first thing that you crave?
After a fight?
Yeah.
Maybe what we did, like maybe some wings and burger.
Okay.
I love my wings.
Even though it was like 3 a.m., whatever it was, were you able to get something to eat? By the time you guys left, it was probably late.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, I was just drinking, so it was all right.
That's right. I mean, by the time you left the arena, it was probably like 3:34, something like that?
It was 3:30. 3:30, I think it was. 3:30 before we left the arena.
Yeah, so not a lot of things open.
Not much you could do, yeah.
By the way, I was reading an amazing thing, and we're going to do something really fun here in a second, but I was reading a story, two things I wanted to ask you about, but the main one was, I believe it was in this, I'm going to botch this, the Morning Herald, the Sydney Morning Herald. Is that the name of the paper?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
They did a huge profile on you recently.
Was that the weekend?
Was it the
weekend?
Or the Sunday?
The weekend, yeah.
And there was a story that I had never heard of. And the author, by the way,
you do your research.
Of course, man. You come here. It's the least I could do. Yeah. She wrote a great profile on you. Whoever she is, kudos to her. When you were in Thailand, and I think you only had one child at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you started to feel a little bit like, where am I going with my career?
Yep.
You drove to the gym. You're sitting out front.
Okay, yep.
And then you went back home. And then you started to feel like, am I too selfish? Should I not be doing this anymore? Have I put too much time? Have I put myself in front of the family?
That wasn't in Thailand. That was back home.
That was back home. Okay.
That freestyle fighter gym. I remember rocking up.
How long ago was this? This was right before you get the UFC. Yeah.
So I was I was chasing the UFC contract for a while. Like,
right.
Pound for pound number one in Australia at the time. Obviously outside of UFC, I had a shitload of Aussie titles, world titles, fought in different divisions, shitloads of knockouts. I was doing everything. And, just chasing this UFC dream. And, you know what I mean? There was even chances that sort of come and they got taken away from me. And just, I don't know, I end up having this moment where, again, like we put life on hold to chase this dream. And as a lot of fighters would, it's not very financially forgiving,
right?
Until you're at the top. And so it was a struggle, real struggle. And I was just, again, because you're going to have your family that care about you, right? They're not saying this because they don't believe in you, but they care about. They don't know too much about MMA and mixed martial arts and what is this sport,
right?
One, and they can see we're struggling. When's he going to give up this and get a real job? You know what I mean? Like, so these are the conversations that happen around you. Maybe not to me, but to my wife and that.
Right.
And it's tough. Again, they're only doing it because they care. But I mean, so you're hearing that, and then we're struggling, and it just wasn't happening. And then I remember this one time I went to the gym. I was out the front, and then I was just. I sort of had enough. I just had a moment where I was just, that's it. I've never rocked up to the gym. He seen me rock up. He knew I was there. And then I just took off.
Wow.
He even rang afterwards. He's like, what's up? Like, something's up. And I'm like, whatever. And like, I didn't really have that conversation. But then I just end up going back and just thought to myself, like, it's just a little hiccup. You'll be right. You'll get there. Obviously that drive that I have. And it was just a moment. And then literally that weekend, I ended up getting a major sponsor. So obviously, I could have just gave up and that's it, I'm done. Social media, who cares? Don't worry about it all. But I ended up finding a little hookup these guys that wanted to sponsor me. It was and it ended up being my major sponsor. That was that weekend after. And then it wasn't long after that before the UFC.
That's
So
crazy.
it was like within a couple of weeks, it went from my lowest point where I was like, nah, I'm done. Fuck this shit. And then to the highest, you know what I mean? Like we're there 2 weeks later.
Do you remember what you felt like when you got the UFC call? Where you were?
We were, yeah, I remember exactly where I was. We're at my mum's place. We were at my mum's place. And I was living with her at the time.
You were living with your mom?
Yeah, chasing the dream. So
yeah,
like, you know
but you were married and had one child or two?
Yep, so I had one child.
Okay,
so
wow.
So I had Ariana, and we're just, again, chasing the dream and obviously struggling.
Yeah.
But we were about to go to Bali for a wedding. So we're going over there for our friend's wedding, and we're leaving that day. And then we got the phone call on our way there. So then we were like, what the hell? Like, and then my Joe Lopez, he came on that holiday. Like he goes, oh, we're going to go there. He had just had a feeling that I might get a UFC fight.
Wow.
He wanted to make sure he was there so we could train. Because I think which card was it? Was it the Philippines card? Was it? Yes, I think the Philippines card was going to be on. And then he just had a feeling. So he goes, I'm going to be there just in case, and then we can train. And then we got that call, and then he was there. So we trained.
Wow.
We got into camp because it was a short notice fight. We got into camp while we were there for the wedding and that. But that fight ended up getting cancelled. That was the Philippines card that got cancelled.
Yep.
Which was a blessing in disguise because my debut was in Melbourne, like a few weeks later.
Did you cry? Did you get emotional when you got the call?
I don't figure. I didn't cry. Just excited.
You're not a big crier, huh?
Man, it's just finally. You know what I mean? It's like here, like I always knew I was ready. Even after the debut and get the win and all that, like it was just relief. It's like, man, you know what I mean? Again, you're putting, your family and everyone everyone's struggling, for me pretty much to chase a dream.
Right.
I just want this to hurry up. I want to give back. When can I give back? Everyone's giving to me. When can I give back? And that was I can give back now. You know what I mean? Once I'm in there, I know I'll rise to the top. And so it was a big moment.
And now you reached a point where they're renaming bars in your honor. Mm-hmm. The Volkanovski?
The Volkanovski, yeah.
Where is that bar?
That's, locally where we are in Wollongong. So that was sold out. I've seen a lot of videos, like everyone, all my family, friends, and it was actually...
You have nothing to do with this place?
Look, we know the guy. So it's not...
But you don't own it?
It's temporary. So they're just doing it for the fights. It was just but
I missed that part.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said anything.
But I mean,
what a great honor.
It's still cool, man. It was unreal. Like they even changed all the signage. So like everything, you know what I mean? They had like the little coasters and all that type of stuff. They had a beer, AV lager. They changed big posters of the, it was cool. They went all out, where the Illawarra has always been good for me back home, the sport's been incredible locally. So, nothing's changed. So
and the closest big city to you is what? Would it be Sydney or Melbourne?
What's that, sorry?
The closest big city to you is what?
Yeah, it would be Sydney.
It would be Sydney, okay.
Sydney, yeah.
So Sydney would be like a home event for you. I mean, obviously anything in Australia would be, but the closest...
anything in Australia. Man.
Sure,
like, obviously
you don't
the
care.
Support back in Australia is incredible, but Sydney event, anywhere in Australia would be great. Just in Australia.
Yeah.
I want one in Australia, and I think I deserve it, and I think we can. We've got boxing events that's going to be there.
Yeah.
As you said, just all the sports. We're sold out stadiums over there. We're allowed to do it. So, and I don't think it's any more hurdles that you will need to cross than it is here. So I reckon we can make it happen.
Yeah, Kambosos is fighting there in June, right?
Yep.
And that's at a stadium.
Yep.
What's their problem?
Exactly. So that's what I was saying. Although, Dana can get a little competitive too. So I was like, hey mate, they're doing this.
Right.
They're doing this. What do you reckon? So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, like everything's opening up back home, which is good. Even for me to be able to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Show off the belt a little bit.
Of course.
Travel. Have
when you go back, you don't have to do anything, right?
What's that?
Like in terms of quarantine, that's
Nothing.
all done?
Go straight home. Man, that's
you guys, I felt so bad for you guys.
You had no idea. So that's why I couldn't do any of this sort of stuff.
Right.
Because I'm already away from the family long enough.
Right.
Then I've got to do the quarantine and all that type of stuff. So I just had no time to be out and about. I'll go home and I'll do quarantines and then pretty much go in lockdowns. So that was my whole time being champ.
I know.
You know what I mean? Till now. So now I can get out and about and, you know what I mean? So it's good.
Is this in September? Did you have to do the quarantine?
Yeah. Yes,
so this is the first one.
This is the first one.
Wow. Where you
Unless
get
something dramatically changes before we go.
No, God forbid.
But it won't. But it was, so even then. So that was, the rules were changing not long after that.
What do you think you would be doing? Like if the UFC career never happened, if it didn't pan out, what do you think you'd be doing at this point? 33 years of age, family?
If the UFC didn't?
Yeah, if you
Concreting,
never,
right? That's what I was doing.
that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Concreting.
I was a concreter. My dad had his own concreting business, and I used to do.
Does he still have it?
Nah. So I used to do a bit of concreting, and yeah, I just think I'm glad I'm fighting now.
That's what you were doing while you were fighting in the early days, right?
Yep, so I was doing it all. So I was obviously a dad. I was in my first year. I was concreting, playing rugby league, and fighting.
Wow.
So it was big year.
How much do you get for rugby league?
Because I was never the top.
Yeah.
So I was like semi-pro.
Okay.
So like it wasn't something that you could live off.
You can't just do that.
Nah.
None of the guys, even the top of the
top guys can. That's their job. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't. Yeah.
How many people go to those matches? Like, how big of a deal is it?
Yeah, what, 40,000 and that? Yeah.
40,000?
Yeah.
You were competing in front of 40,000?
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about the top leagues.
Got it. Oh, got it.
Again, I was like semi-pro. So
How many people go
we're
to
not like him, and the sports here is just incredible, man, which I love. Like you go to college games, hundreds of thousands of people, and it just blows me away. And even just like the wrestling, everything, like the amount of the backing of the sports and the people, you know what I mean? Like the tailgate and you name it. Like absolutely, that's why I love coming here. You know what I mean? Just because I don't know what it is. I love being a fan and all that, and seeing the appreciation of athletes and sports and things like that. So it's good. Like obviously Australia's like that, but I mean, it's just we don't have the numbers for one. But I mean, it's just not the same. Like you come over here and it's crazy.
Could you have been good enough if you stuck with it or no?
Oh yeah,
to have an actual career in it.
The type of guy I am, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think I could be whatever I wanted because I have got that drive. But I mean, it was something that was just more part time anyway. While I was concreting that, and because I played footy with the mates and that as well. But as soon as I started MMA, I was like, that's something I want to pursue. You know what I mean? So that was something that I definitely wanted to take on, and I did. So I had my last year of football. We won the grand final. I scored a try. I got man of the match. Like all that type of stuff. So good year to finish. Let's take on this MMA because I had like 4 fights that year. So that was my amateur career. And like I only did 1 year of training, and I had 4 fights, and I won all them in less than like 4 minutes or something. Like so, I didn't even have 1 round of experience before I went pro. And then I went pro. Yeah, so I went pro pretty quick. And just fought. It's funny because I started reasonably late. I started training MMA at 22 years old, and so I wanted the big fight straight away. You know, you get a lot of guys that you know they try and. Oh, sorry, I thought I'd shit on my shirt.
No, you almost freaked out there.
Yeah,
pretty impressive, by the way, that your shirt is.
Yeah, I do. I was making sure.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
Well done. No apron as well.
Yep. With the. What were we talking about? Before I rudely interrupted myself.
When you went from amateur to pro, you didn't have a lot of experience amateur.
The guys are, sorry. And I was the type of guy, I just wanted big fights. I wanted to get, you know, sort of how I was even in the UFC. I wanted to, whoever's going to get me 1 step closer to the title, right? Shoot me up the ranks. So I was like that straight away. So here I am with a 1 year experience in MMA, and I'm fighting guys that have been fighting their whole life in middleweight and shit like that. So I was taking on fights that no one would at that early in their career, but I just wanted to move through. Luckily, obviously, I guess, you know, I sit there and say I'm not athletically gifted, but obviously I had something, right? That power got me somewhere, right? So it's something that, if something I was gifted with, it's just my strength. And me being 214 pounds and me carrying that weight still, or that strength. So, so I end up fighting guys like that, and, you know, my third fight was against Corey Nelson, his name was. And he was like pound for pound number 1 in Australia as a welterweight. A fight I should never have, but it was a tournament. And I just wanted to fight whoever, just so I could, you know, move up. So that was like my early loss, and that's what made me
the only one,
down. But I mean, again, you look at all my fights, and I remember even when I was trying to get in the UFC, it showed like Connor's, Aldo's, we had a few different guys, and it showed all our our records at that same time in our career. And people we fought, like in hand, the win-loss in their opponents all together. And mine was just like 100 and something wins, I guess. So I've fought a bunch of like killers at that time, because that's just the type of guy I was. I was just like, these guys, if I beat this guy, I take his spot. You know what I mean? That mentality that I still had when I was chasing the title. And the mentality I still have now, even though I'm not chasing nothing, but I mean, I still got that drive. And that's what I'm talking about. I just don't feel like a lot of these contenders in my division have that drive that I had, like getting up. So They got a lot of fucking chasing to do.
You see Arnold Allen. Were you impressed with him?
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, I think he's a cool dude as well. But yeah, he's good, man. He's very well-rounded. And
you think he's close?
Obviously, Dean Hooker's my guy, so that was hard to see. But I mean, if anyone was gonna get a win over one of my boys, I'm glad it was Arnold Allen.
You like him?
Yeah, he's a cool dude. You know, he's at least a nice, respectful dude, and he's just being himself. And hopefully, he gets.
He doesn't talk any smack.
He doesn't. He's
he's actually quite funny.
A sweet man.
Yes,
you know
I know.
I mean? Yeah,
I love him.
So I like him, but again, like you don't see enough of that, and people don't want to praise it or push it or anything like that. But
well, you don't get rewarded for that, unfortunately, in the fight game.
That's the thing. Like everyone, so what do you want? Like just every UFC athlete to just
talk shite,
just be the exact same person, or what? Like, you know what I mean? Like let people just be them. You know what I mean? And that's why when you do get these guys that do come through that really do have that natural gift of chatting shit and you know, being good at it, like, and then you appreciate it a lot more. You know what I mean? You're going to appreciate it like this because these guys are. There's not many of them that can do that and can be like that. But if everyone was just trying to be that, I'm sure everyone would be fucking over it. But
I feel like they should do him versus Cater next.
I think he does it like again. And think of that. You get guys like that so close. Like a winner of that, I guarantee you a lot of people, if they go and knock each other out, someone knocks each other out,
right.
I guarantee everyone's screaming their name.
Yeah.
I mean, go out there, take that number one spot.
But if he beats Cater, then I think he should get a title shot at this point.
I think he's
he won 11 in a row?
Yeah, man, look at how many wins he has in a row.
I mean, the UFC rankings.
I don't mind talking him up because he's a cool dude.
You don't, okay, so that's...
so we're chatting a bit about Arnold Allen.
So right now, in the featherweight division, he is 6th, which is a little bit surprising. His issue has been he's not active. You know what I mean? Like he fights once every year, so I think he loses momentum. If he could come back relatively soon and fight Cater, who's 5, Zombie is 4, so you've already... gotten rid of him. Yair is out there. I think they're doing Yair Ortega. Who do you think wins that fight?
So they're doing that. They are doing that. So you can imagine that. Like obviously it's a tricky one for Ortega because Ortega just fought me, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Yair goes out then takes him out. You think anyone's going to be screaming anyone else's name?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. These fights need to happen. You go out there and do it quick. Don't sit there and wait, and then all of a sudden, because I've been saying this, they all probably like, oh, fucking, I'm going to go get a fight. And they all do it at the same time, and then you got like 3 guys that are
Yeah.
But, man, like again, you got what? Well, so what is he? That's 2 and 3.
That's 2 and 3, and then Max is 1.
So you go out there and do that, you know what I mean? And if Max isn't the one that happens, you think anyone's going to be, you know what I mean? Like you do that, you go out there and you take out Ortega and knock him out or something like that, say for like I guarantee you, like, it's going to be hard for the UFC to turn down that fight, even if they want Max, or even if they did want like Henry Cejudo, or or even me moving up or something like that. It's going to be pretty hard for me to do anything else if they go out and take that. That's what I mean. Go and take that, and then I won't have these options.
Of course.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Don't give me options because you're probably going to miss out.
The biggest what if of them all, maybe one of the greatest what ifs in UFC history, while I'm still wearing this, is Zabit.
Man, that's another one. Like he was right there.
Right? He was right there.
Very close. He just had to have that one fight and then
he just disappeared.
I don't know what's going on with that.
I've asked around. They say he just
comes back because there's a lot of hype around him. You don't reckon he is?
From what I was told,
he's done.
Sounds like he had like almost like this moral religious dilemma that he was dealing with. He's very religious.
Yep.
And I think he reached a point where he just didn't want to do it anymore. Now his brother fights and he corners his brother, which I think is really interesting, but obviously everyone's different. Yeah, but that's what I heard. Like he just reached a point where he's like, no, this isn't for me.
Shit.
He might go down as one of the biggest what ifs in UFC history because it looked like the ceiling was so high.
Oh, mate, he was very, very well-rounded. He was a great fighter. Obviously, he just had that issue, that gas tank issue, which can be dealt with.
Right.
Like right now, for all this time he had off, was him trying to improve that. You know what I mean? And getting, being able to still have that exciting style that he has, but being able to, control his cardio as well at the same time, because it's going to be hard to do the two. If you're going to be all out, I feel like I've nailed sort of that, where I can still be explosive and all that type of stuff, but still I can do it all day.
Right. You don't get tired, 5th round.
Hey?
5th round, you're not...
You always get tired, right?
Yeah,
I sit there, I'm always going to be, like, don't get me wrong, I'm still breathing.
Right.
But I mean, look how I deal with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. Look how I deal with being, like, tired. Some people just crumble. Me, I'm just like, whatever. It's just a thing I don't worry about because I've been there that many times and I've had to push through and do shit that's harder than this anyway. Mm-hmm. while I've been that fatigue. So that mentally, it's good. You know what I mean? Where you hit that wall, get that mental block, and just be like, I'm done. But I mean, you just make sure. Like for me, that's why one thing. People say, be comfortable in uncomfortable positions. They talk about that. I've changed that and said accept uncomfortable, because it's never comfortable. Like the training sessions I'm doing, it's not comfortable. Me being that fifth round that I'm talking about, it's not comfortable, but I've just accepted it. Like, I deal with it so much better because I've accepted that this is going to happen, and, and that's all right. So obviously it is probably a little more comfortable than it used to be, but I mean, it still sucks, but I just deal with it much better. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. So I accept the uncomfortable. I say
seems like the food is on its way, but I do have to ask you about one other thing before we eat.
Hopefully they try and make sure it's cooked.
Yeah, guys, please make sure it's cooked.
I don't have my eye on it, so now I'm getting nervous.
Are you getting nervous?
Well, if you get sick, that's going to get thrown at me, even though they're cooking it.
I know, that's true.
So if
Connor, you better eat one of those.
Up in hospital, remember,
it's their fault.
But I mean, I use the smaller chicken wings. That's why I said the 10, 12 minutes should be more than enough.
Right.
If they're bigger ones, you're going to have to cook
I like my steak well done, by the way. Just for the record. And people think I'm joking. Why is that so bad? Why do people care so much about that?
Look, it doesn't matter. People should eat it however they want.
Yeah, that's right. It's a free world.
But 100%, it is. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I just
what do you like? What do you like? Medium rare?
Like,
rare?
I can have it. Like, I can have it rare. I can have it blue.
You could have it blue.
I could have it blue, as long as it's room temperature before you cook it. Because you know how I just don't like my steak cool in the middle, cold in the middle.
Right.
Because that's just
gross.
I mean, like it's literally, it's fucking. You may as well just eat the cow while it's still standing.
Right. Thank you so much, Alex the Great Volkanovski, legend, featherweight champion, just defeated Chan Sung Jung, and Henry Cejudo. Where are you at? That's basically what he said. He wants you next. No, I'm kidding. I can't even think straight at this point. Wow, you went straight. You're a freaking. I mean.
Dustin.
Yeah. Well done. Thank you for stopping by. Congrats on the win. Going to take a quick break, clean this up. We're going to play a classic clip. Speaking of Conor McGregor, his debut was 9 years ago last week in the UFC. Did you know that?
I didn't.
That photo right there, Marcus Brimage.
There you go.
So we'll play that clip of his first interview ever on this show back in February of 2013, and then we'll come back. We'll check in with GC, New York Rick, and wrap up this bad boy. Stick around.